Welcome to this episode of the Frog Talk.
Today, we're going to be interviewing our Hall of Fame inductees.
Let's go.
My name is Zon Eastes. I was born here, and I grew up here my whole life, and then I left here in the early 70s.
Okay. Why are you back?
Why am I back? Oh, I'm here because I'm being inducted into the Hall of Fame. I started playing music here in Pratt. I started first on piano when I was 5. And then when I was 10, there was an orchestra program in the Pratt schools in those days. And it was a big program when I got into it. So I started that in 5th grade. And then I just kind of kept going.
From when you started in 5th grade, was that like the first spark, like maybe I want to do this? Or were you no, this is just a hobby of mine?
No. I was just good at it. It was easy.
Did you know you wanted to leave Pratt? Or because your parents were here and everything, there was a pressure maybe I should stay here?
There was. I mean, I didn't. When I finally went to college 1 year at Hayes, and that was. I went there because that was the school that I felt like we could afford. We weren't rich or anything, and I got big scholarships, so I could go there very cheaply. But I got really bit by the bug there and realized if I'm going to do this, I need to go somewhere else.
Yeah.
So I went to New Mexico and studied at the University of New Mexico, and that's when I began to realize I'm probably not going to live in Kansas anymore. And so then I went from New Mexico. I went to New York and studied at Stony Brook University is the name of the school where I got my graduate degrees. Then when I was in Vermont, the kinds of things I did, you can tell by looking at me that I'm an old guy, so I'm almost, I'm retired. So I taught cello a lot, and I taught at Dartmouth College, I taught at Amherst College, and I taught in this community music school in our town called the Brattleboro Music Center. And I did that for probably about 20 years. And that was my thing. And I also conducted an orchestra.
How did you come about that?
Well, when I moved to the town I live in, there's an orchestra in that town.
Yeah.
And I was playing, and it was a volunteer thing, so I was learning my community, and I played in the orchestra. The conductor had to be gone, and he knew he had to have some surgery or something, and he knew he was going to be gone, so he just asked me if I would guest conduct this one concert. And then the conductor of that orchestra, after his surgery, he stepped away. I do conduct an orchestra. It's called the Juno Orchestra. It's an orchestra that I founded. It's a professional orchestra. It's not a community orchestra. Community means volunteers. Professional orchestra. And it's a very good orchestra of people that all live in the region around where I live. So it's a dream I've had for a long time, because there's a lot of very good players around where I live, but there's never been a professional orchestra. So I started it.
How do you start an orchestra?
Well, a million details. You got to, first you have to. I ran it as a project for 5 years first to see if it would work. You have to hire the orchestra musicians. And you have to be able to pay them, so there has to be money to back it up. And then you have to organize everyone coming and being there.
So what's it like being back at Pratt? Is it?
It's great. I can come back and sort of sink back into what it felt like to be a kid here. All my Eastes cousins, we're having a family reunion tomorrow.
That's so fun.
And I think they're going to be, I don't know, somebody said maybe 40 or 50 people there, so that's great, what I would say in all the work I did and everything, one of the realizations that came to me, and it's, you'd never think of it as a kid, but what I am really, beside being a musician, is I really am mostly fascinated by community building. And so my work with the community orchestra is like, cajoling all these people toward a Beethoven symphony or something.
I'm sure they have totally different skill sets.
And some are near professionals, and some are lawyers, and some are tired, and some are very energetic. And you put all this together, and you come together with an amazing thing.